back from last Sunday with another woman. Take off that mask of romantic disaster. How many of you were blessed from last week? And how many of you learned something that when the soul wants what the soul wants, the soul go after, and the soul seek to get it. And as we can clearly tell from last week's video, that Sarah had some soul ties there going on, but we're going to talk more about that. So again, welcome back to Activation Sunday with this particular segment of Woman Take Off That Mask of Romantic Disaster. I'm Dr. Nina, and I have my guest with me from last week, as you know, Sarah Beckles. Welcome back, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. We're just picking up from where we left off last week because I want to stick to my promise of giving you guys 20 minutes. I know we're over tad, but bear with me. I know it's Sunday and I don't want to keep you too long. So let's jump into today's topic. And still, we just give God thanks for this moment and opportunity. And I also give honor to my husband, AG Ambassador Dr. Andre Thomas. And guys, let's jump into today because I know a lot of you want to know what happened. Okay? So take us back. We left off where when you went to a particular Caribbean island, that's when your relationship actually got to the ultimate of being disastrous, because before you saw the signs, but now is when you're going to take us into the actual disaster of the disastrous parts of the relationship. So you can pick up from there.
Okay, so he traveled for 2 weeks to a Caribbean island, to a carnival. And you're home with the baby and stuff. We're dealing with each other and everything, but we would still communicate.
Yeah.
Via video call or anything like that. And then after a while, like maybe after the first week, we would communicate, but it was not as often as it was the first week. And I remember him saying to me, "Well, you would call me and we would talk and sure that we miss each other, but it seems as if you stopped doing it just like that." Wow. He mentioned that to me. But what had happened to me is that my spirit actually was picking up something. I just felt off. I just felt off. And I could not put my finger on it. Anyway, until he came that he came back. And I remember that night I was ready and waiting.
So how long was he away for?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
I was ready and waiting. Like anybody could do it. She helped him travel a long time and she come back. And he comes back. So I was ready and waiting, wine and everything.
Oh wow. Waiting. So you prepped yourself,
yes.
prepped the home, prepped the dinner table.
Put the sick children, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were ready and waiting.
I was ready and waiting. And in that, I remember him coming in and we started to talk and stuff like that. But then we eventually went off to bed and that kind of thing. We drank the wine and everything. But we are about to
get together,
make love. And there was something he was asking me to do that he never asked me to do. And I was like,
wow. You mean something sexual?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I attempted it.
Yes.
But for some reason, I felt as if he was trying to regain a memory of something that happened.
Wow.
It was like he was trying to go back or get back a feeling or a memory of something. He did it, but he was just trying to get back this memory of this thing. And I noticed it, and I shut off. I kind of shut down. I kind of shut down. And I didn't say anything. We went on like normal, every day. 2 weeks passed. And my body started to feel like in my lower stomach.
Yeah. Started
to feel puffy and heavy. And I was having this pain that I could not understand. And I also started to say I had a discharge.
Yes, of course.
And I started to have this discharge. I was like, something is off. Straight off the bat, he was laying in bed. And I came up the bathroom and I sat right beside him. And I looked at him like this. And I said, well, why did you cheat?
Oh, wow.
Straight off. Up to no. He has not looked at me.
Oh, wow.
He's staring in the room. He said, why can't you look at me? I'm looking at you. Why can't you look at me? He could not answer me. He said nothing. And for days it went on like this. And I would lay in pain. Over the weekend I lay in pain. I was so angry. Because I asked the question and you never answered me. The same thing, and I'm telling you what is happening with me.
Yes, and still no answer.
And no answer. And I am asking him, why did you do that? Like, why would you do that? You left me here with our son in your own home.
Yes.
Then you go out to do that. To do what?
Yes.
You intend to kill me?
No.
I have my other children to live for.
Yes.
And he's still not answering.
Wow.
So it made me more angry.
Oh my gosh, wow.
And I would lay,
evidence is there.
yeah.
The evidence is
and
there.
I would lay next to him at night, and I would be in pain, and he would not sleep. I know he can't sleep because I'm tossing and turning.
Wow.
And
So
then
there's that much pain.
it was that much pain. And I got so angry that I just moved out to the bedroom. At that time, my things were stored in an area in the back of the house. And I went and took down my bed that was in the back of there.
Wow.
I made it up and I stayed up there. And I remember him coming to me and he said, I don't want you to do that. Why you do that? Why you move up the room? I don't want you to be down here. I said, listen to me. Speak to me about what you gave me.
Wow.
Not about me being here.
Yes.
Because I'm next to you every night and you show no concern, no care for what you did.
Wow. So at this point you knew what it was that you had gone to the doctor?
No.
This was
I had
just
shared with my sister what was actually happening.
Yes.
And her being a nurse, certified nurse, she explained to me the possibilities of what it could be. And we narrowed it down. It could only be an STD.
Yes. Wow.
Anyway, I decided my first decision was to go to the clinic because at the time I was not working.
Yes.
All of my unemployment was finished.
Yes.
And it was like I was literally dependent on him.
Wow.
When I had to, in this position, I had to ask him for a bus fare to get to the location.
Wow.
And he behaved with me as if I was a dog. All I could do was like stare at him like you for real? Like, really? You're behaving as if I did this to myself when you really wrong because you don't want to admit it.
That is crazy.
It was so painful. It was painful. Anyway, I found a way to get money, borrow money. And then, because after I went to the clinic did the tests. They prescribed medication. The medication did not work. This thing was so bad.
Wow.
The first set of medication did not work. I decided, okay, I'm gonna try to find at least $500 because you know when you go to the gynecologist, you've got to pay money.
Of course.
Then you gotta fill a prescription. I went to the gynecologist, and the gynecologist sat me in the room before he actually examined me, and he started to counsel me because he wanted to see where my mind was at. I did not show any signs that I wanted to kill the man. When the gynecologist was talking to me, I showed no signs. When he was counseling me, he was saying to me, but you know, any time that anybody goes to this particular Caribbean island and pick up anything from it, it's almost like this thing foreign. And the gynecologist is trying not to cheer me up in a sense by laughing and stuff, but I was staring at him like, you have no idea where my mind is right now. Anyway, he prescribed me, he examined me and everything. He clearly said to me what it was. I got back the test results and everything, even from the clinic too. And gynecologist told me straight off the bat it was chlamydia. I was ecstatic because I have never gone through anything like that because I'm not one to run around with one of a man. I do not function like that. So if you do something like that to me, it will make me angry.
Yes.
And then you're not admitting it.
Yes. Wow.
You're saying nothing.
Wow.
It is as if, oh, and then one day you decide to say, you're blaming me. I didn't do anything. I said, I'm blaming you. But I didn't leave your house and go and get involved with somebody. You were the one who did that.
So he actually wanted you to believe it was you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is crazy.
And after he went through the process with the doctor.
He's another narcissist.
Yeah.
Full of himself. Wow.
And after the doctor and everything, the medication, I started to somewhat heal from the medication from the doctor. But for me, I was still having a smell. So I would have to get on it. But this time now I find a job now.
Yes.
I would get on the bus. And for me, I would be smelling myself and wondering, is somebody smelling me? I was so uncomfortable.
Wow.
And the doctor had explained to me, remember when you take antibiotics, what happens? It turns around now and give you the infection.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, because remember, with antibiotics, it actually kills your, what do we call it again?
Good cells.
It kills your good cells, and it will create that kind of bacteria, that kind of thing.
So the bacteria is also setting off the odor?
Yeah. So, but it just to me was an indication of how bad it was because in my stomach area, I knew if I did not have a discharge, I automatically knew something was wrong in here because of how it felt bloated and full.
Wow.
It felt like I had some type of infection in my ovaries and in that area.
Wow.
And you know, I found out from
It was a long time, but my gosh, I can't even imagine going through something like that.
It was not nice. It was painful. I prayed many days.
Yeah.
I prayed. I used to have to. I worshiped through that though. I worshiped a lot through that. There was a song that I collided on at that time. What shall I render to Jehovah? Was that song that took me through that.
Wow.
And I remember the gynecologist also saying to me, there's a possibility that you may not be able to get pregnant again.
Wow.
Because what happens when you have that infection on that level, it actually destroys your reproductive system. That hit me for 6 again because obviously now I was on my 5th child. I told all I wanted 6.
Right. Wow.
And I was like, oh, so my chances of even getting pregnant again, okay, gone. Anyway, all this time, I got over that part. I forgave him. I shouldn't even say forgive because I didn't forgive you yet.
So, okay. So you went to the doctor, you found out all of this, you get back to the home, and you obviously told him that it is so, because all along you just had what you believed, but then you went to the doctor and they confirmed that. You went to him and he still didn't accept or
did
take
not say
responsibility.
anything.
Wow. So how much longer did you stay with him in the house and all of that?
We weren't involved or anything like that.
Yeah. Romantically?
No, nothing. I completely cut.
Yeah.
And I said to him straight, I was not. I can't do that right now because it's still fresh. It was still fresh at the time. Yes, I still felt that love for him.
Yeah.
I still felt attached to. And
His soul no got involved. Wow.
So then, even in that sense, I was praying and asking God to deliver me. I feel trapped.
Yes.
Even though I went through that with him, I still felt like
Connected.
I still loved him. And I would still say it too. And sometimes I have this friend really close to me. She's with me through it. And she would say to me, we are like sisters. And she would say, sis, I know that you still love him, but he could not come around me again. I said, well, sis, I can't promise you that is not going to happen because of how I know I still feel.
Wow. Even though all
Yes.
of that, the pain,
Yeah.
the torment, the mistrust, no, because there can't be any trust
No.
there. And you would have already had those red flags even before you moved in with him.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was away, you also sensed that something was up.
Yes.
I have to ask this question because a lot of women go through this.
Mm-hmm.
When you sense that something was up, what did you then, as a female, as the woman, protecting yourself? Because this is real talk. We must talk about this.
I honestly didn't think about that because we were already having sex.
Yes,
protecting.
but you picked up in your spirit that something was off.
I just
And that was
didn't-
God telling you.
I didn't think
careful.
of. I honestly didn't think of it
Yes.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
I felt something, but I wasn't sure what it was.
Yes, yes.
So I still went ahead as normal,
Mm-hmm.
which was I honestly could say no.
Right.
So it was stupid. Yeah.
Yes, but also what I just thought of, that could be a possibility.
Mhm.
He could have then turned it on you.
Yes.
If you had gone that route,
It's true.
he would have said no that.
Something
Because
else.
you might have started,
Mhm.
but I mean, eventually you would have gone back normal.
Mhm.
He would have let you know when I came back, you protected yourself, so you were the one who.
Mhm.
So you could have actually
Mhm.
have him think that it was you.
Mhm.
So anyway, yeah. So you were saying then that you were, after this you move away from him. You had another separation.
So before that, I was still living there,
Mhm.
and then up came this woman that he started talking to, and he would bring the woman at the house
Wow.
in my face, and she would be up there at the shop, and she would be laughing and making comments and talking hard, knowing that I am inside, and he would do that. So even on top of that, you gone to a whole nother level of disrespectful.
Disrespect.
I mean,
Wow.
to my face.
Mhm.
It's like, I really don't care anything about you.
Mhm.
Anyway, I I said I kept quiet, and then I actually went on the whole revenge side. This is before I actually left.
So this is before you left. You had some revenge.
I went on the whole revenge.
Romantic revenge.
Yes. And I actually got into his WhatsApp. There was a way that you scan something and you're actually in his WhatsApp. So every message that is coming, I can see. Okay, so yeah.
Yes.
And so then I figured out from being in his WhatsApp, the person that he actually had sex with in the Caribbean.
Mm.
And I contacted her.
Oh wow.
I said, I'm not calling you to behave in any manner or anything like that. And I'm saying to you, if you know that you have sex with him, you need to get yourself checked.
Oh.
That was my words to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, who did he sleep with? I said, I don't know. You would have to ask him that.
Mm.
She decided she was going to the doctor because then eventually she communicated with me then.
Mm.
And she said, I did went to the doctor and my doctor gave me, but no, this was the comment that had me with her. When she said, well, if he give me something, that means that my boyfriend has to have something too.
Wow.
And I was like, huh?
Wow.
I said, oh, so you are having sex with somebody and you have somebody too? I said, okay.
Wow.
I said, all right.
Mm.
I hope that everything works out for you.
Wow.
She said she did go to the doctor and the doctor gave her medication. What if the doctor gave her medication and the doctor had to realize that something was wrong? You say, oh, you realized something was wrong. My doctor realized something was wrong with me.
Yes.
Anyway, she decided then she would not talk to him anymore.
Mm.
He messaged her and he said something to her, and her response was, I don't think that there are any more good people in the world. That was her response, and she stopped talking to him. He no further tried to tell her, ask her why she didn't contact him when she was contacted by the individual.
Meaning you?
Yeah. So as an individual, no, I'm not the woman that he was talking to. Anyway, my first message to her though was, do you know that he lives in Barbados before and has a job? Because in my mind it's like, I gotta assume that if you do these things, you are not just gonna sleep with a man that come to your island and you really don't know anything about him. Anyway, so that went on like that, and I would see the messages from the new woman, so I get to know everything about she. Then I get she number. When I left now,
Oh wow.
when I left now, I still had her number and stuff like that. I was probably, it was the first time in my life that I was so angry with somebody that it led me to take revenge.
So your revenge was more about calling them and warning them.
Yeah. And then the new woman, she wouldn't listen. Because he gave her some other story, you know.
Wow.
He never told her why I finished with him.
So did he ever went and got himself like checked and took medication or got healed and everything?
I would tell you how that happened. But to finish up my healing process, I had to go on a natural path.
Right.
I had to start to use herbs, like to refresh my womb, my womb cleanse, that kind of thing. And my womb went right back to normal. My womb went right back to normal so much that because I was so attached to him, I went back and had sex with him.
Wow.
I went back.
Wow.
I stupidly went back.
So
Yes, I
after
did.
all of this,
Yes.
contacting the lady in the other island, finding out about the other one, the disrespect with the one who used to shop at the house, him calling you the individual, you went, after you got healed, after the pain, the torment, the distress, the heartache, you went back.
I went back.
And had unprotected.
No, I started off protected. I wouldn't go unprotected because this was my thing. I said to him, I said, if you want to have sex with me, you need to go to the doctor. He ain't budging. I said, well, we can have protected sex. Eventually, something happened with him, and I realized it. Like, the erection he used to have initially was no more.
Wow.
And I said to him,
So you
why
started to get
don't you
erectile
listen
dysfunction.
to what I said to you and go and get yourself started? I knew he felt probably less of a man at that moment.
Yes.
And it was only then that he admitted what he did.
Wow.
He didn't go to the
Repercussion consequences.
He didn't go to the doctor. I put myself in the gap
Mm-hmm.
and I went and I got the medication for him.
So he never went to the doctor?
No.
Wow.
And you see the thing with that, with an STD like that, a man does not, his body doesn't respond the same as a female.
Right.
It's different. So he could go around all the way with that. And a woman never know.
Oh, that is crazy wicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the medication for males are much less than the female. I mean, got 2 weeks of antibiotic, but he will just get 2 tablets. Yeah. It's much different. Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
It's much different.
That's terrible.
Mhm.
So, okay, so we're getting ready to close, guys. But so you went back with him, and this is when you had your second child with him.
Yeah.
Wow.
After
I did not even know this.
one time of deciding, after he took the medication and everything, and he would have gone through the healing, one time of deciding not to have protected sex, I got caught.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So I guess that was how that story went with him.
Yes.
So how did you eventually, and even in hearing this ladies, I mean, so many of you hear her story, and you know within yourselves that for you, you've had people that you kept going back to because of that soul connection. And that soul connection is the main reason where you see so many relationships go disastrous, because of the soul that's so attached. When did you finally let go for good? Let's say that's it.
So I got pregnant with my last son. And a further disaster happened because when I told him
disaster than that. Hey.
When I told him I was pregnant, the response was, you know exactly how to get rid of that. Yeah. I said, at this current moment, I know you cannot be talking to me. Have a good day. After that, He disowned it. You are not pregnant for me. I went through 9 months of that pregnancy on my own. And when Jabri was born, he disowned Jabri for 5 more months. I took care of Jabri for 5 months on my own.
Wow, that's a lot. That's big.
And
that's massive.
Yeah, and then after the 5 months that he came around, he started supporting him, he started looking after him and stuff like that. He didn't entirely, it was kind of iffy because he would have been telling people I was not pregnant for him, but people were not stupid.
Yeah.
People noticed, if this woman was not pregnant for you, would she even come here to bring your first son to see you and wait for him?
Wow.
Because what was happening is that he would not come and look for the first boy. He wouldn't come and spend any time with him or anything like that. So then, because of the attachment that the child would have had, because we were living together, I would take him and say, you want to go with daddy? He would say yes. And after he decided he's going to start taking care of the younger one, he then started telling me he wants to settle down and have a family.
Hey.
It was then I had gone to the point. I believe by then the deliverance I was telling God I want, and I felt trapped. It came.
Oh, wow.
Because when he said that to me, I said, he will come and he will come and visit as long as he will want to come and stay in my bed. And he would come in my bed and I would not allow him to touch me. And I said, one day I just said, I cannot do this with you anymore. I am done. I just want to serve God. I just want to live my life the right way. Yeah. He was so angry with me. He said, I cannot believe that you would allow living right together in the way of what we have. I said, what do we have?
Disaster. That's what you had. Disaster.
I was done.
Wow, so that
was
it
done.
You guys. That was final. Except, of course, you still have connection because of the kids.
Yes.
Right, yes.
And we don't even talk outside of the
children. Wow.
Just
for your married now, so
yes.
I mean, there's no going back.
I was happy that I released him at the time that I released him.
Yes.
Otherwise than that, I would not have come through the process I had come through, because at that time there was still some anger in me towards him. I would cuss. And cuss he every day.
Wow.
And I would tell him about himself. And I said, you were not nice. I was so angry and I had to ask God to help me. Even in the pregnancy with Jabri, I would say, God, I am so broken. Because I would cry every night. I can't understand how you could just leave me with this child.
You can't, really, you couldn't understand. Really now. After what he did, not even owning up to that. Yes. It's very believable, very believable. Wow. So that was your romantic disaster. That was a lot. And you came through it. You see, the thing is that God is a rewarder. He redeems. He's a redeemer. Because even though you went through all of that, as you said, your heart still desired him. And your heart, you were actually verbally praying, and your heart was crying out for more of God. And because you were praying for more of God, God recognized and saw that this woman, I need to free her. Because the Lord also knows when a girl that age, her soul can become entangled with, and so the Lord came through for you, delivered you, healed you, and released you.
I gave you a husband.
And a lot more to come.
Destiny partner.
That's right. Wow. What then would you, because that was a lot, and we're getting ready to close it, but what then would you say to those ladies out there who may be watching this video now and is saying, wow, that's where I'm at right now in a disastrous relationship? What advice would you give them? Sorry. Thank you, Holy Spirit. It was a question I had for you. How did you overcome that? What was that pivotal moment?
The pivotal moment was stop making decisions, important decisions on your own without seeking God. Which clearly says Do not get into any relationship that God did not specifically say, this is it. If you are not sure, seek. If you have spiritual leaders, if you don't, find trustable spiritual leaders to help guide you with relationships. If you know that you are one who constantly go through disastrous relationships, because we do constantly go through them, and you realize, I always choosing the wrong ones, get help spiritually if you believe that you are going to make another wrong decision.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's kind of like your encouragement as well.
Yes.
So you got to in with that question. Yes. She told you basically what got her out of it, God did, and what kept her, God, and who's keeping her, God. So God was able to restore her. So I hope that you learned a lot from today's session, guys. And Sarah, oh my gosh, thank you so much, because that was a lot, and your transparency is real. Because there are not a lot of people who come on and share, such. The good thing is that she's healed, delivered, and set free. Even the STD that she mentioned, healed, gone, she's married, they're happy, all of that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So guys, wow, that was really something else. So I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you took some notes and you're telling yourself, I'm going to trust God in my relationship. And as I said before, if you're someone who's in a disastrous relationship, seek help. And I know sometimes these relationships can have you so caught up and tied up that you don't know which way to go, but there's always a way to go, and that's God. Amen. And then He will lead you to people that you can trust. So that's all we have time for today. I really do pray that today blessed you and transformed you in the name of Jesus. So God bless you. This has been Activated Women Global Woman Take Off That Mask of Romantic Disaster. You heard from Pastor Penelope for the last 2 weeks, and now you have Minister Sarah last Sunday and now this Sunday. So we're looking forward to hear other women share their stories. So if you have a romantic disaster story, please share it with us, because remember, our ultimate goal is woman take off that mask of shame. There's no shame because she overcame. Hey,
Yes.
there's no shame because so shame keeps you under. But when you remove that mask, that's when you are. There's no shame because you overcame. So God bless you, and I'll see you next time.